All right. Trying to get this together in the car, hand resting on the steering wheel, because again, I'm trying to do this one in landscape because I'm here to Let's Talk UFC Champs. And today we're going to discuss the UFC welterweight champion, Mr. Israel, the last style bender, Adesanya. I've been excited to do this because I've actually had the research done for a little bit now. So here we go. You have to bear with me with this car talk and yeah. Let's get into this one. So, Mr. Israel Adesanya. He was born July 22nd. Yes, July 22nd, 1989. He's currently 30 years old, about to have a birthday. Born in Lagos, Nigeria. His father was an accountant, his mother was a nurse, and he is one of 5 kids. Now, I couldn't figure out where he was in the 5. Middle child, younger child. I do not think he's the oldest at all. I think he's either probably the youngest or somewhere in the middle. So someone let me know, what child is he? One of 5, though. He actually started Taekwondo at a very young age until his mother pulled him out when he broke his arm. In 2001, he moved to Ghana for about 10 months. He actually started doing dance in Nigeria as well and kept doing dance throughout his life. Eventually, he actually started doing dance competitions as well. Now, he ended up moving to New Zealand to Rotorua. And I apologize for mispronouncing that, but that's the best I could do. It's hard for me to say. All right. Rotorua, New Zealand. He moved there, I believe, at the age of either 10 or 11. I couldn't quite get down that age there, but he moved there so his parents could have him go to a school that had a better recognized education. Because as you know, certain countries, especially like in Africa, certain countries in South America, you can go to medical school, become a doctor, then move to the States and have to go to medical school again just simply because they don't recognize the school that you went to in your home country. So they decided to go ahead and nip that in the bud and go ahead and move him to New Zealand at about the age of 10 or 11, which is why I think he's towards the bottom. Actually, you know what? Maybe he's at the top. You start off with Israel first, you move the whole family to New Zealand, then you raise up all the other kids in New Zealand as well. He might be the oldest. Someone let me know. Anyway, so they went there for a better recognized education. He went to a boarding school. It was the Rotorua boarding school, boys high school. It's a secondary school. It's basically equivalent to grades 9 through 13 if we had a 13th grade here in the States. You start the school when you're 12, 13 years old, and that's where he went. He was less than 1% of the population is black. Black. I'm going to get too specific. Black. Well, that's the 1% of the population. And due to that, really, he got bullied mercilessly. And if you pay attention to Israel at all, you know he got bullied because it really affected him. And he actually talks about it quite a bit, even if he's not prompted. So it definitely affected him. With the bullying, also, he was inspired by the MMA film Ong Bak. And he started doing kickboxing at the age of 18. And from then, it was pretty much all systems go. He's a big anime fan. His name, The Last Style Bender, of course, is inspired by The Last Airbender. He's, again, a fan of all of that and the MMA films and all of that. He was kind of a travel fighter. He fought in Hong Kong, China, New Zealand, Australia. He made his pro debut in 2012. And then in 2013, he actually moved to China for about 10 months. He moved to China. He was on a 32-0 record already, and when he got to China, he was basically just fighting constantly. Now he ended up moved to Auckland, New Zealand at the age of 21. So in all that travel fighting, he moved to Auckland, New Zealand, and then moved to China in 2013 for the 10 months. Now, in doing these championship videos, I've noticed that all of them kind of have a year or 2-year period where things really pick up and start to kind of go and connect for them. For Israel, that seems to be 2014. 2014, he became the first New Zealander to be signed to Glory Kickboxing. This is also the year he made his pro boxing debut, a debut of which he lost. But that's okay. The following year, he won 5 boxing fights in a row. But back to 2014, first fighter to get the Glory Kickboxing, and he won his first King of the Ring tournament championship at cruiserweight. Now, he has the record for the most King of the Ring titles at 3. 2 cruiserweight titles, 1 at heavyweight. And the heavyweight title that he won, he actually had to fight 3 times in one night to win that tournament championship, and he did that heavyweight. Yes. All right. So that was his big year. And again, like I said, the next year he was avenging that boxing debut and won those 5 fights in a row. Let's see here. Bear with me. Bear with me. I didn't realize I actually had memorized this much of his stuff. I had to turn the page. All right. He actually has over 100 pro and amateur kickboxing fights. And in 2017, he finally signed with the UFC. He actually made his debut about a couple of months later in February of 2018, where in his first fight he actually won a performance of the night bonus. And then 6 out of his next 8 fights he won performance of the night bonuses, all leading up to his first he even got to fight his idol Anderson Silva. Now, this is not something he wanted to do. He did not want to face his idol. Some of us want to face our idols. Some of us want to like to leave him on the shelf. He wanted to leave Anderson Silva on the shelf. He actually said many times, he was adamant, I don't need to fight him. Yes, I think I'm better than him, but I don't need to fight him. He's my idol. I don't need to know that physically. I don't need to know that. It was I believe the fight broke down. Whoever Anderson was supposed to fight, the pressure got on them because people thought that he was the new age coming of Anderson Silva. So between Dana White and all of the talking heads and all of the fans, they threw some money at him, some pressure at him, gave him the main event, and he decided to go ahead and accept that fight, especially after Anderson Silva himself said that he would be honored to fight Israel. So after that, that is when Israel decided, well, since my idol would be honored to fight me, I'll go ahead and accept this fight. And that's why he did it. And of course, you know, he won that fight. Then fast forward to October 2019. This is when he got his first title shot against who was the champion at the time, Mr. Robert Whitaker. And he got to showcase those dancing skills that we knew that he had in his opening. He walked out, had his boys that he's been dancing with all these years, his actual friends, and they did that choreography that blew my mind. I thought it was amazing because I'm a fan of the entertainment aspect of the sport as well. It is an entertainment. It is a show. So I love that. And then he came in to put on a show in the ring, y'all. Took out Robert Whitaker in the second round TKO, but he won the entire fight. Dominated him. I think Robert Whitaker underestimated his power, and I think he was surprised by his speed. Also, he's extremely accurate and an amazing counterpuncher. He's a very smart fighter, and quite frankly, I just think that I don't want to take anything away from Israel, but I definitely think that Robert Whitaker overestimated himself or underestimated Israel's talent. So Israel was able to capitalize. He was able to pick Robert Whitaker apart, bloodied him up, bloodied up the leg, and eventually TKO'd him in the second round. Great win. First title fight, undefeated in the UFC, Mr. Israel Adesanya. And then, of course, he had that next fight with Yoel Romero, his last fight, which we don't really need to recap that. Although, I don't like how he's taking all the blame for the fight being boring. They're both counterpunchers, okay? You cannot blame the one who actually mounted some sort of offense when the other guy is standing still. He might as well have his eyes closed, just like me. Standing still. So you can't really blame the lack of offense on the guy who managed to put together something. Some kicks, some jabs, something. So that was unfair. It was unfair criticism. But his next fight is going to be against Paulo Costa. And needless to say, we ain't going to have that problem there. So, last but not least, I think that's pretty much everything on him. Oh, he is currently with City Kickboxing there in Auckland, New Zealand. He was the first to bring them a title, and now he's there with Alexander Volkanovski, who has a title as well. Dan Hooker is there. They've put together quite a camp there at City Kickboxing. And, oh yeah, he has officially endorsed the legalization of marijuana in New Zealand. So, yeah, there we go, for recreational and medical. So there we go. There we have it on Mr. Israel, the last style bender, Adesanya. Please let me know anything I may have missed, anything I may have left out. Let me know about those ages there, his moving, where he's at, and the 5 kids and all of that. Those are things that were kind of hard to nail down. He was a fun guy. He's been out there doing his activism. He's been outspoken, which he is. To me, he is a nice balance of earned confidence with a little bit of cockiness that isn't off-putting. To me, he doesn't hit below the belt. To me, you can still tell that there's someone genuine behind all that smack talking, and he's entertaining. He's a character. He doesn't really just quite talk smack. He got little riddles and things. He dances. He's a star. He's a star. And I look forward to see what's next. Well, again, I look forward to just see Israel Adesanya. All right. So let me know how you feel about him and getting anything I left out, any questions and any answers you have for me, who you might want me to do next. There are actually 3 titles coming up, so it will be one of those winners. So yeah, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, where I've been doing a lot exclusively on Instagram. So you really have to follow me there for these exclusive fight picks and information. And yeah, I'm on Snapchat. Follow me, or excuse me, subscribe, like, talk to me, take care. And I'm so sorry for this awkward landscape where I'm looking over here and looking over here, looking at myself. I apologize. Talk to me, take care. Bye.